Big Steve?
Shout out Mikey B. Recapping UFC Baku and doing a little nice early tease for next week. I'm pumped for it. I won't be watching. I'll be at my competition. Oh, Eisenhausen. But yeah, let's get into it, right? Recap and the early tease in the same video. I just couldn't be bothered separating them. Why not? I haven't slept since 3 a.m. It's now 10 a.m. We'll talk some shit. We'll go over the recap and quickly. And there's a lot of regionals again this week. There's two Cage Warriors. There's a PFL once more. I'm starting to warm up to PFL. If you're just very disciplined with it, profit is achievable. And then we've got a big UFC. There's an ACA. There's a bunch of shit. But I'm only going to talk about the odds for the UFC pay-per-view, right? That's what we're here for. But let's get into this, right? So first bet of the week was boxing. Norman Jr. Versus Sakai. If you know boxing, I don't really. I taped it for the first time. I used to bet boxing a lot last year. Had an insane ROI. I just kind of put it on the back burner this year. And the first bet I bet was like Garcia under versus Romero, and they were just sparring and just put me off. But I came back and there was another bet. I think it was Cruz, my boy Dogfather. Shout out. He gave it to me and he said, "Inside the distance, it's a great bet." And then another fellow from Twitter, from London, Marlon Sandro, forgot his name. He knows who he is. He also said it's a good bet. And I just passed on it. I passed on it. So this felt exactly the same. An amateur boxing champion just fighting an overrated Japanese guy. Massive favorite. I played a full unit. All right. Remember, I was depressed last week. I was sick of passing on things, sick of not winning enough money, sick of grinding for 40 minutes. I said, fuck this. I'm just putting a whole unit on this. I put a little bit on under 9.5 rounds, a little bit on under 10.5 rounds. 9.5 was big. He killed him by round 5. Absolutely killed him. Sparked him cold. I made like $300 and something, almost 400. And I was like, hell yeah. Paid off. The whole unit paid off. All right. So then we're going to the PFL. All right. So I did a podcast on this, and it was like, a couple of things I liked, a couple of things I didn't like. Mech, won easily. Kind of regretted the under there. Joanne, nothing. I like Derek Kelly sub. Didn't play that. I should have live bet him as well in round 2. It looked like the tide was turning in his favor. Vincius Caruso, I said this is a shit show fight. I liked Kamidov over Magomed, and halfway through round 2, I'm like, I regret this. He's going to edge every single round, but turns out Magomed edged the 2 and 3, and I'm surprised by the unanimous decision. I do regret Jenna Bishop. I didn't really understand why so much money is coming on Ekaterina. I said that on the pod as well. Is she going to out-grapple Jenna Bishop? That's her game, and yeah, she subbed it. So I was like, Vettel, Gutierrez, I didn't like this at all, just in terms of what do I bet on this fight. Alfie Davis, I like this as an underdog, but the line moved away from me. It was $1.80 when I liked it, and then $1.30, $2.30. It's just so much money coming in on him. Like, it's going to be a close decision, right? With Primus having potential top time upside. And yeah, I passed. And then I was looking at that live bet. He was plus 150 in round 2, and he was clearly going to take over. But yeah, that was my one regret. Like, not even a live bet, having anything on there. And then Alves, I put half a unit on Alves. As I said, this is the one guy to give Cameron Smotherman a win in the UFC. Alves beat the shit out of him. A little $50 poker by no. A little Liz Camouche under 1.5 round. Doesn't go. Only $150. Limits were shit. I didn't feel confident enough to put more. And then I had a whole unit on Gadzi under 2.5 rounds. I said we're going to capitalize, right? Watch Kevin Lee. It would have been a crazy scene to watch Gadzi knock out 3 more durable guys back to back and then somehow take Kevin Lee to a decision. Kills him in round 1. $500 to win 260. I wish I put a little bit more on, but it is what it is. I'm $435 up. Really, I thought it was going to be up more. Playing Alves, playing the under. But I guess my pokes, a little poke on Barnaoui, $50 and $150 on Liz. That was almost half a unit. So my regrets are obviously not playing a whole unit on Alfie, not playing a whole unit on Alves. I said I was going to do this. I was going to play full units, dogs or whatever it is. But it started well with the boxing, but not so much with this. But we'll get there. I'm getting more aggressive. So I wish I had a full unit on Alfie. Wish I had a full unit on Alves. and maybe 2 units on the Robertano under, but that's about it. And I wish I played Jenna Bishop. But whatever, profit secure. We're 700 and something dollars up now. Going into Baku, no bets at all. Yeah, no bets at all. And I got to wake up at 2 a.m. for this. And I'm just definitely telling myself I'm not going to wake up for this. I'm still in the phase where I'm not trying to tape as much, and I'm not trying to ruin my life for the UFC just to make peanuts. But did a bit of grinding. Muhammad Usman, I do regret not playing the minus 3.5 handicap. A few things I liked. I said there was value on him. I didn't realize how much money came in on him. Plus 130. I was like, wow, it was plus 160 at one point. I let a little bit of noise get into my head here. Everyone's like, this is a shit show. This is a shit show. But to me, it really was a clear play on Usman. Like, he has more power. I saw Thomas Peterson take him down, and Usman worked his way up. So, Hamdi was going to probably gas if he wrestled too much. And, I should have just played the handicap. The handicap was plus $1.60, pardon me. And that was safe, even if you get a Hamdi 29-28 or a split. But there you go. Usman won a clear decision. Tagia, a few things I liked. I thought Azad had some value. I thought, obviously, Tagia sub, everyone was on it. And I'm glad I passed there because, obviously, Azad lost 30-27. So this is where we're at. So I woke up at 3 a.m. I missed the first two fights. And I woke up and, obviously, I was very on the edge. I'm not eating much. I need to cut 2 more kgs for next week. I don't know if I'll do it. I can't shit. I'm drinking some tea for shitting. I woke up and I was on the edge. I haven't even had coffees. And I'm like, oh, all right. I put $50 in arena to win round 1 KO. And that felt forced. But I'm like, there's something in this fight. I got to take advantage. There's volatility in this fight. I didn't think Claudia was going to come close to finishing her. And I thought Arena, she's finished better girls than Claudia, right? Put $50, whatever. Then the fight starts. Arena looks like shit, like absolute shit. I'm still waking up. I should have live bet her. And then in round 3, I live bet Arena. I put $150 of plus money. I thought it was maybe 1-1 going into the third. Arena wasn't even that slow, gassed because Claudia barely did anything. Super slow pace fight. And as soon as that happened, she cracked. And I'm down $200, $150 live bet and a $50 poke. And I'm like, cool. This is not what I want to do when I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. I've been here before. You do not want to start an early morning card in negative, especially when you don't have bets lined up. But I'm like, that's all right. Half a unit. It is what it is. Daria versus Melissa Mullins. I liked fight ends in KO all week. All week I liked fight ends in KO. I said, I'll see how I feel when I wake up. So I'm like, all right, I'm $200 down. I need to chase now. So let's chase with the lean that I have because I don't have many good leans for the rest of the card. So I put half a unit, $225 on Mullins KO. That's right. I got a little bit greedy right before the fight and I played KO instead. And I was like, please, gambling gods, no Daria KO here. I know Melissa Mullins is hittable, but she will survive, right? Fight starts out. Daria's beating the shit out of her. I'm like, yeah, this was all, predictable, same as last time. She gets a takedown near the end, goes for a sub. I haven't seen her go for a sub in my life. Regionals and UFC. I'm like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Doesn't get it. And goes into round 2, and she's like $1.35. And I'm like, Mullins should roll from here. She should roll from here. And then I put the worst bet, $1.35 live bet on Melissa Mullins. And I didn't tip this out to the Discord because I just couldn't do it. I think deep down, I knew this was a horrible bet. But I said to myself, come on, man, you got to be more aggressive. $750 on the worst live bet on Melissa Mullins. Then she proceeds to lose round 2, almost gets knocked out. Survives. And I was like, thank goodness. I would have lost 1K on that, on one bet. And she survives. And then Daria's pick'em. She's pick'em after round 2. She's 2 rounds up. And it looks like she's going to win the third because Melissa Mullins can't buy a takedown. And I'm like, what the hell? So I put $600 on Daria, a bit over a unit to win 400. And that hedges me a bit. But as the fight's going, I'm like, why didn't I put 2-3 units on Daria, right? Why didn't I completely hedge all my losses? Because, when the scorecards got read out, 30-27. So, yeah, it is what it is. So I lost $1,000. Mullins live, horrible bet. And Mullins KO to $250 almost. So that's $1,000. And then I won $400 on Daria live betting. So I'm thinking live betting is pretty good so far. There was a good live bet on Segula in round 2 as well. So I'm like, live betting is not bad. So I'm confident. Usually at this point, I'm thinking, wow, I'm down almost 1K on 2 fights, Irina and Daria, on these 2 shitty women's fights. And usually I would think I've wiped out all my profits from the previous events this week. But I was like, that's all cool. I felt very reckless, very, very cool. Maybe because I was just still half asleep, very reckless. So fuck it, we'll get out. We'll get out of this hole. So I put $600 on Park, right? More than a unit. I was like, fuck it, we'll go. I wasn't 100% sure on him. I thought he would be losing minutes of the fight. But I put $600. I'm like, you got to do what you got to do. You're chasing now. And I'll put even more. I'll put a bigger bet on live. Park obviously was eating a lot of shit. Was getting hit, was getting countered. It was a lot slower. That was predictable. Ismail always starts off well. And I tried live betting at plus money, tried live betting at pick'em, didn't get it. It is what it is. And then second round, man, I thought Park got hurt with a flying knee. And then he went for a takedown and he stayed on his knee. And then Ismail landed that illegal knee. And I was like, whoa, dude, that should be a DQ. But my boy, my soldier, continues on, and he wins, and he still almost finishes Ismail. So $346 there. That drops me down to 700 and something, under 1K. We're back in business. Let me address the comments. Apologies, my friends. I'll address the comments. Shout out Lucky Team, always in here. Fading Haldi was sharp. Thank you, Lucky Team. Thank you. I did something sharp this week. Golfer, all your bets posted in Discord, even boxing. Also, can you talk within the Discord to others, and how much is it a month? Content is awesome. Thanks for the breakdown. Golfer, I already answered this on the previous. I answered your comment on the previous video. Yes, there's a bunch of people talking 24/7. There's people from Europe. There's people from America, I'm from Australia. People are always talking shit in the Discord, in all the promotions, soccer, boxing. I post everything I bet. Soccer, boxing, MMA. Other people post, all the sharps post in there. They post their favorite bets every week. Big Bird, Pierce, Dogfather, Pirate. Just a bunch, man. And you can just talk 24/7. You don't even have to post your picks, and it's $45 a month Australian, which is peanuts. I literally never ever talk about the Discord. I let people find it. If they want a community, they will find it. But what is that, like $30 USD a month, right? For some people, that's like a combination of Netflix and Spotify for some people. You get no money from that. You just spend money. So you can talk shit in the Discord. Everyone's in there 24/7 talking about different promotions. The Europeans are talking about European promotions. Boxing people are talking about boxing. And they all post their bets and I post my bets. And we post live. Big Bird, Steve, if you watched it was a shit show. Yes. My friend that played Hamdi, a sharp friend, I still make fun of him. I'm like, what did you see in Hamdi? It said that Hamdi was apparently cruising and then lost based on a couple of moments. 6 Hound. Let's talk about Urban Elliott being a minus 500 favorite. Yeah, what a bum. Dogfather Korea loves his Koreans. All 3 judges giving Park round 1 and Nadia round 2 was elite. Yeah, strange. I thought Park won every single round, to be honest. Pirate, you're locked in for next week already. Let's go. Yes, I have to start now. Otherwise, I probably won't do much tape with the comp coming up. Pirate, the Discord is 1,000% ROI. There you go. Pirate's in there too. Sharp young fellow. I put him in because he adds value. Yeah, a lot of sharps in there. Dogfather, good work to the Fizzy backers. All right. Dogfather's looking for some sympathy. He played Bahamandes, but it is what it is. Some people win, some people lose. But, yeah, Dogfather did well anyway. Alrighty. Sung Hyo Ko versus Urban Elliott. Yeah, as I said, Elliott, I don't rate Elliott at all. This is not a guy I would parlay. I also didn't feel comfortable just going straight up on KO. But what I did say is KO can play Oban's long-distance striking game better. And I was like, if he can just stuff some takedowns, I'll live bet him. And as soon as he stuffed the first takedown, I put a whole unit on KO, a little bit under, 450 to win 333. And it was a little bit of minus money because it was near the end of the round. But I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to pussy out because there's a chance. Oban is drawing dead. What's he going to do here? So I want that too. So now from 1,300 down, after that, I'm down $70. So we're good. I felt confident. I literally threw money away on the first few fights, and we're back. We're Gucci now. Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. I like Bogdan Grad a little bit, but I thought it was going to be a competitive Weasel fight. I mean, Naimov just edged it out based off one reversal in round 3. Talk about a Weasel. I regret not playing the under. Not playing to go the distance, actually, plus money. Nazim Sadikov, Mota. I played Sadikov KO half a unit before I went to bed. That was one of my only bets that wasn't an action bet during the event. And, that went well. I thought the under 1.5 was going to be tilting. It was. They almost killed each other multiple times. I was also going to play ends round 1 and 2. I was going to play the under 2.5 rounds on Bet365. It was better than minus 200. I pushed it out. I didn't just double down. I should have doubled down, triple down. But that put me in profit. Now we're $200 in profit. Moral by Tafik. I like this under, man. I should have gone bigger. I put half a unit on the under. Doesn't go. I pick him. Crazy. I thought Moralbai could knock him out. I thought Tafik could knock him out. Moralbai could submit him. I was telling people, and they were even saying, "Oh, no, I don't see it. Moralbai, they're both durable, blah, blah." And I was like, this is hitting for sure. I just felt like it would go like the Medic fight. All right. Tafik, to me, on tape, he seemed a little bit flaky, like you could break him. He's been submitted and finished a bunch, and he's been hurt by Patricio, and no one's really like pushed the pace that Oralbai pushes on him. So yeah, that I won. I put 250 to win 170. That should have been like a full unit. And I was going to be done for the week. And then Fiziev, I was just looking at Fiziev. I was taping him, and I was like, this is going to be a competitive striking fight. But Fiziev's older. He's gassy. He's hittable. But Hernandez is good. He's improving. But then I'm like, I don't think Fiziev's going to lose this fight. Lose round 1. He's going to win round 1. Super high clip. And patient Fiziev is a different animal. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's in Azerbaijan. He's got to be patient here. And if he's patient, this should be a levels fight on the feet. So I played half a unit on Fiziev at plus 120, and then I added another $150 live. A slight favorite odds after he won round 1 clear, in my opinion. So I thought he still had the KO upside. I thought at any point he could unleash and hurt Ignacio. He wasn't getting pushed by Ignacio at all. And then we saw he had the grappling upside. So I won 365 there, a little bit under a unit. So yeah, at this point I'm $750 up. And I like the over in the main event, but I didn't play it. It is what it is. So yeah, down heaps, down almost 3 units, and up 750. So I can't complain by that. As you can see, started with the boxing, 300. I was really happy that I put a full unit on that. And then PFL, a lot of money left on the table, but profit is profit. Had some massive underdog on LFA, $75 poke, and then obviously 757 on Baku. So 1,400, 3 units, almost $50 away from 3 units, whatever. I'm getting close to 5K. I need $500 next week, and I've got 5K, which is 10 units for half a year, which was my goal. I was a little bit upset last week. I should have done it last week. A lot of tilt, but whatever. We're getting close. Back to square one. I've still got a BKFC bet. I've got Copeland versus Andrei Arlovsky. I reduced that to half a unit. It's a bit of a shit show. Copeland looks fat. He hasn't fought in ages. 2-minute rounds. Arlovsky's going to be running away, clinching, but it should be competitive. So if that wins, I win another $600. That'll be great. That'll be 2K for the week. But let's move on to the UFC. This is why we're here. What are we going to make money on this week? Let's get it. Let's go through the comments. David L. KO was bet of the card. Hard to argue, my friend. Hard to argue. 30-27 or 30-26 as a massive underdog. Golfer, thanks. I'll be joining ASAP. Looking forward to seeing you there, my friend. Also, how do you bet on these regionals? In America, and I use DraftKings, but I don't get UFC, but I get nothing but UFC and PFL. Do you trust any of the crypto books? Golfer, I will say I do trust crypto books, and I don't really have a choice being in Australia. You shouldn't have issues betting regionals in USA, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, if I have regionals in Australia, you should have regionals in USA. Dogfather Bet Online's a great book. Yes, it is. Blomdog, hey Steve, what's up, mate? Hope you're well and winning many AUD. I am winning AUD. Is it many? It's okay, but we'll win more. Zach, I'm going to be tilted about the Kuniev decision all week. 3K swing. Wait, did I skip that fight? Oh, I did. My bad, guys. So Curtis Blades. I bet a unit on Curtis Blades, and then I bet almost a unit on start round 3. The reason I did that is, I thought Kuniev was going to be drawing dead. He's going to clinch. Usually clinches. Usually loses grappling. I thought Blades had more power. I thought Blades was the better wrestler. And I was like, if it's competitive, I'm going to win my starts round 3 as a hedge, and then I'll live bet Kuniev, to hedge. But I think Blades has all the KO upside, so it was kind of hedging my my start round 3. I do regret that. I lost. I hedged Kuniev round 3. It looked like my Blades bet was going to lose, and I was going to lose all my profits. But yeah, that one worked out. I won like $27 there, but I should have just played the over. So the reads were good. Every single fight that I bet, the reads were great. Other than Melissa Mullins KO and the first 2 live bets. Anyway, apologies, I completely forgot about that Kuniev decision, Zach. Thanks for reminding me. Alrighty, so Cedric Dumas versus Jackson McVeigh. What is going on with Cedric? Well, this guy's been in prison 3 times while he was in the UFC, and I'm just gonna say it. Nah, I don't want to say it. Do we think this would happen if he was a white dude? Does anyone remember Luis Pena? He had one thing with the miso with his girlfriend, domestic violence, and they cut him. And then who's that little guy? This other Rivera guy that stabbed his sister. Stabbed his sister with a pen. Cops got called, cut from the UFC. Cedric Dumas goes into the UFC with allegations of beating his partner. Then he goes to prison. Then they release him. Then he goes to prison again. And they release him and they book him on a pay-per-view. What is going on with this guy? Is there something about Cedric Dumas? Is he a star? Does he have a lot of fans? Does he have potential that the UFC sees in him? Strange. Anyway, that's just my little rant. Lucky Tim, Dumas is innocent until proven guilty. Oh, I get all that. I'm not saying he's guilty. I don't really give a shit. But why the hell is the UFC giving him so many chances? It's crazy. He was hiding in a dog cage when he got arrested. Yeah, I heard that. I mean, it's a nice little tidbit, but alrighty. So yes, he's fighting Jackson McVeigh. I watched a couple of fights of this guy in LFA back when he was in prelims. He's obviously a grappler, but then I haven't watched the last few. Let me have a look. Is he still running through bums? Yes, he is. This guy's 4-0, so that's 4-1. That's a little bit better. He knocked him out a week ago. Wow, this guy fought a week ago. But top 8. That's right. He knocked out top 8. And other than that, he's just running through bums. And he's got a good grappling. Well, he got submitted by Wes Schultz. He's a favorite, right? Let's have a look. He's a favorite because I just can't imagine this guy being a favorite. Dumas being a favorite off a jail sentence over anyone. No, Dumas is the favorite. Wow. I might have to look into this ASAP. Might have to look into this Jackson Bay ASAP. I mean, it ain't hard to click to fade Dumas. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's move on. Jonathan Denise versus Alvin Hayes. Another LFA guy, Alvin Hayes, in the UFC. Welcome, my friend. My friend said to me, have a look at Denise and tell me if this is not a smash spot. And I'm like, minus 200? I don't even have to look into it. I know Alvin Hayes, very great explosive wrestler. Seems very binary. I get that Jonathan Denise beat Carl Williams, who's also a great wrestler, and he can do it for 3 rounds. But Alvin Hayes, I don't know, it just at minus 200 seems very, very volatile. Alvin Hayes has looked like shit in his last few LFA. He looked much more explosive and dangerous early in his LFA career. I don't know. Like the Philip Latu fight, he's getting cracked. He's walking through punches. He's taking him down. Like he's mauling him. He's hitting him on the feet, and he's just locking him. Kimuras, Americanas, rear naked chokes. I don't know. Minus 200, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Like Denise with that bottom game, the white belt bottom game, I'm not really interested. Yeah, 6 sound. He can't be a smash spot when he absolutely has 0 get-ups. Yeah. Hines actually has better wrestling than Tabura, and he also has a much better chin. So Tabura was cracked, got the takedown. Denise fell apart. But yeah, volatile fight. We've got 2 short notice LFA guys back to back. Speaking of volatile fight, Nico Price, Jacoby Smith. Wow. I mean, you either live long enough to get into the UFC Hall of Fame, or you get fed to a 10-0 Dana White Contender Series guy that's probably going to knock you out. Yeah, so yeah, Nico Price got knocked out by Robbie Lawler, by Philip Rowe. Not by Themba Greenbo, but he lost that fight, which is disgusting. And now they're giving him Jacoby Smith. But the line is insanity. Absolute insanity. I didn't think you should play this line against Peterson, and Jacoby Smith ran through him. Props to him, whatever. It is what it is. He came out there brawling, and Peterson came out there brawling. But this is a more dangerous fight. Nico Price actually has power. So the under is probably going to be juiced, massively juiced now because they think he's going to KO everyone. But yeah, not much to talk about. Not rushing to play Nico either. He's washed. Oh, here we go. People want me to plant my flag. Well, this might upset you if you're a Kuniev backer. I gave Kuniev the slight edge as someone that had money on Blades, but I hedged both ways. So I personally thought no one should be upset. It came down to round 3. At the start of round 3, Kuniev was landing a lot more. He was landing a lot of straights and big punches that the commentators were reacting to, but Kuniev has a great chin, so he wasn't really reacting. And then he humped him. He cage humped him for ages, which, whatever, that doesn't count. There's no damage. It is what it is. But it's like the first half of round 3, he was landing damage, and then the second half, he's humping for most of it. And, really, Kuniev landed a bit of punches at the end. Some people thought Blades was rocked. I didn't really think he got rocked. But it's just whatever the judges see. It was a split round. It was really, really slim margins. I mean, how many years are you watching UFC? You can't really be upset at that. Like, it's a 50-50 round. The judges are going to be 50-50. You throw a coin, and you just hope that the decision goes your way. Next time it's going to go your way. This time it might not. But I don't think there's a point talking about it. I think it played out pick'em. Kuniev bets were elite. They were elite because that fight played out pick'em. Blades looked the shittest he's ever looked though, and he also did his knee. So could he look a bit better than that if he didn't do his knee? Yes, I think he would get a lot more takedowns. He would be a lot more mobile. He also seemed to gas because of his knee, but yeah, the Kuniev bets were great. The overs were the best. 2.5 rounds go distance plus money, easy money. But yeah, Rem Dog. But this is a bit confusing. You got Rem Dog and Bloom Dog squashed in between each other. Sup, Big Steve? Think they're underestimating Hyder again? I'll get there, my friend. But yes, they are. Yes, they are. All right, Blom Dog agrees. Let's go. Yes, so Hyder Emil, Jose Delgado. Now, I had 2,500 on Jose Delgado last time he fought. Right, $1.40. Props to Pirate. Pirate in the chat, in the Discord. He gave me this play. I looked into it. I'm like, I remember Delgado. I smashed his under on LFA. This guy hits like a truck. I played that. I should have played the under as well. And, that was an easy win. It was an easy win. We just saw Conor Matthews get ran through by someone else right after that. I forgot his name, Gerard Deville. And, now he's a favorite. And he's lost on the regionals to Chris McCante. He's been dropped against bums. He's very aggressive. I'll give him that. And now he's going up against Hyder Emil, who is streaking. This guy's streaking. He might be a bit older. He's 35 years of age. But the guy has just knocked out Zhong Yong Lee as a massive underdog. Not massive, plus 150. And beat William Gomez. The King Weasel, William Gomez. Right? Stuffed his takedowns, outstruck him, won a split decision. Again, as a plus 180 underdog. And now people are favoring Jose Delgado. I don't know. This seems like a shootout. It seems like they're going to brawl. They both have power. I mean, Amir probably has a better chin, and he's been tested more. So I don't really understand why is he the favorite. Why is he the favorite here? So, yes, I agree. Dogger pass for me for sure. Dogger pass for me for sure. What are the odds? Wow, there's more money coming on Delgado. That's crazy. Maybe my friend Pirate. I know Pirate loves him. Pirate, you still in here, mate? You still in my chat? What do you think? Lucky Tim, Delgado accurate to me. Why do you think? Why should he be the favorite, Lucky Tim? What do you think he's going to rinse Amir for 3 rounds? Yeah, that should be a great fight. We'll be having a lot of stinkers, a lot of stinkers, and I don't know. That should really not be a stinker. So looking forward to a fight that's not boring at least. Ban British MMA. Yes. I mean that's long overdue. All right, let's move on. Terrence McKinney, Vladislav Borsha. What to make of this fight? Terrence McKinney's minus 200. He should kill Borshev. Borshev could also kill him, so I wouldn't really be playing minus 200. I'd rather play the under 1.5 rounds if it's minus 200. So there you go. Typical McKinney fight. The only issue is here, McKinney, especially against strikers that might knock him out. Let me have a sip. Against strikers that might knock him out, he likes to take down and go for the backpack. Right? He's done it many times. He's gone for the backpack versus Nazim and a bunch of others, but he did finish old mate, that last guy with ground and pound, who's a white belt on the ground. But Borshev has very good heart and great scrambling and great submission defense. If Terrence can get his back and not finish him, and fight starts round 2 and he's gassed, that's a prime Borshev comeback spot. So there's that. But we'll see what the unders open up. We'll see. I'm not going to bang too much about it. Alrighty. Jack Hermansson, Gregory Rodriguez. Well, this fight went a bit under the radar. I just completely didn't realize this fight was on. Gregory Rodriguez minus 200 against Jack Hermansson. Disrespect. They gave Gregory the washed Jared Cannonier test. I was big on unders in that fight. That was along with Delgado. That was my bounce back after losing February and January, being in the negative. That was my bounce back week. And I reduced because I was like, this is going to go into round 3. I'll go to 3.5 rounds instead. And Gregory failed the test, man. He couldn't beat old man Jared Cannonier, who's just been beaten by everyone. He's got wins over Brad Tavares, Christian Leroy Duncan. Ferreira, Holt knocked him out. Cannonier knocked him out. Brad Tavares dropped him in the first round. He was almost killed by Chidi and Chukwani as well. I mean, we know he's chinny. Yeah, man. Why can't Hermansson stick and move? Stick and move for 3 rounds, right? Disrespect. I don't know where Hermansson's been. I don't know why he hasn't fought for so long, but that's disrespect to me. Dog or pass. Right? He just beat another brute in Joe Piper. And he beat Chris Curtis as well. Alrighty. Back to it. Viviane Araújo, Tracy Cortez. Viviane Araújo is a massive underdog, right? I don't know why. This is the one I like. I like Araújo over Tracy Cortez. I need a tape, but it's sticking out like dog's balls. She just beat Karina Silva, the prospect. She beat Jennifer Maia before that, losing to Natalia Silva. She had one of the closer fights with Natalia Silva, right? This chick still got it. She's 36? Wow, 38. Pull the brakes. Maybe put the brakes on. She's 38, but she's got juice in the tank. And Tracy Cortez, she's a wrestler, wrestle boxer, no head movement, no jiu-jitsu. She's got the shit beat out of her by Rose Namajunas in the last one, dropped multiple times. I think lost 4-1. Beat Yasmin Yuzdavicius, which is aging beautifully. Beat Melissa Gatto, which is aging beautifully. But, yeah, it kind of seems like a split. It seems like a split minus Evie Tracy Cortez. But Viviane's going to have value. She's going to have value. That's all I'm going to say. Let's have a look. Shady, Steve, you betting the under 1.5s? Well, maybe I will. But let's wait for the under 1.5s to come out first. Lucky Tim. All right, he gives me his breakdown. Emil 2 hittable, slow in scrambles, worse cardio, Delgado better at range plus kicks, large cage, can't cap him massive favor because he's going to brawl, harder could get. Do we know that Delgado has better cardio? I mean, he doesn't get pushed a lot of the time, whereas Emil's in scraps. Hermansson is 160. Yep. Dog or pass. Hermansson has survived harder punches. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. He was killed by Cannonier. He's been dropped a lot. He got dropped by Vittoria of all people, but I think RoboCop is one of the hardest hitters in the division. Never Cortez Chalk, correct. Queen of 29-28. Iron Turtle almost had him. Correct. Fought Natalia Silva closer than Grasso. Simps will always be there to lay juice on Cortez. I mean, why is there no Simps for Araújo? Why not? This fight right here is interesting. Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Man, Felipe Lima, always a soft spot for him. Played him as a $3.50 underdog in Octagon. Plus 250 underdog against Magard. Won 4 rounds to 1. Rinsed him. European promotions, some of the best. And, then they came in and I bet him against Naimov and he won that too. And he had a back and forth war with old mate Johns. He was getting hit. He had some adversity, but the kid is just like relentless. He just swamped Miles Johns. His last 3 fights, man, Jonas Magard, Naimov, Miles Johns, it's aging well. He's fighting high-level guys. Peyton Talbot, it seems like they're off Peyton Talbot. He didn't pass the Barcelos test, and now they're giving him Lima. This is not an easy matchup, man. This is like tough matchup for him. I make sense why Lima is the favorite. I'm contemplating actually playing Lima as a minus 200 favorite. Like, he is hittable. I mean, Peyton still has that something special about him. He hits very hard once he gets going, but it's like, will he get going against Lima? Like, Lima is just so fast, explosive. He mixes in the grappling with the striking. It might be a levels fight. But yeah, that's where I'm at. We might be seeing, the potential future champion Peyton Talbot. That's what the hype was about, to being on a potential 2-fight losing skid now. Crazy. Viviani's an underdog. She sure is. Blomdog, look into it. Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. I have 1.5 units on Joshua Van. Just the vibe bet. Haven't taped it yet. I know these guys super well. My boy Dogfather laid some units on Van. I said, fuck it. My gut is saying the same thing, so I don't need to tape. I'm going to lock it in. I think it was Pick'em. And yeah, that's where I'm at. It's a 3-round fight. I thought it was a 5-round fight. If it was a 5-rounder, I think Brandon Royval would have been a lot better. He loves 5-rounders. Obviously, I have a feeling Van loves 5-rounders too. We haven't really seen it. But I just think Van hits harder. Royval can match his volume. There's going to be a lot of kicks, but it's basically going to be volume versus kicks. I think Royval can hurt him as well. He's got underrated power, but yeah, I played Van, and I'll tape it a little bit later. We'll see where we're at, but this is a vibe bet. Renato Moicano, Benel Dariush. I had Dariush a plus 180, a big underdog play. I was on all the shows, whatever was best bets or maybe something else, and I was like, that's my favorite play. And then they scrapped the fight, and watching Renato fight Makhachev on that card, I was like, man, I think he would have knocked out Benil Dariush. His hands looked sharp, very sharp. And they look sharp versus Fiziev when I taped Fiziev today as well. He's got good hands, man. And now that the line has come in and it's a lot more close, it feels accurate. I feel like Renato should be the favorite because, trajectory, he hasn't beaten anyone good. They're both chinny. They're both washed, in my opinion. But I'm not really interested at this current line. Like, it's a bit more disgusting. How Renato looked against Makhachev, I was like, man, he would have killed Dariush. I think he would have sparked him early. But yeah, I'm not interested in anything right now. I'm not really interested at Renato minus money. Maybe the unders. We'll see. Alexandre Pantoja, Kai France. Have these guys fought before? On Ultimate Fighter, maybe? Let me have a look. Why do I have the feeling like they have? Yeah, so Pantoja beat Kai France in 2016 on Ultimate Fighter. That was one of the highest level Ultimate Fighters. Some of the best flyweights in the world. And now they're rematching. And look, it's a dog or pass. $1.35 on Pantoja. I get it. He's very good. He's beat the who's who, Steve Erceg, Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno, Kai Asakura. But he's having issues in a lot of these fights. He's got the gassiness and the hitability. Kai France, man, he's fought this matchup a bunch. He's fought Askarov, he's fought Bontarin. He's fought a lot of grapplers, right? So, dog or pass. He might have some value. I thought he beat Amir Albazi as well. Close fight, but if this one's close, yeah, dog or pass. Maybe I'll get on him. Shady, Royval versus Van is a coin flip odds. If you want, the smarter thing might be to leave Van for a live bet, right? But the thing is, his last 2 fights, he's finally won round ones. He won round 1 against Bruno Silva. He beat the shit out of him. And he won round 1. Actually, the last 3 fights. He won round 1 against Durden, despite being taken down and grinded. And he won round 1 against the Depp fellow, that was trying to grapple him. So Van is winning round ones now, and he's got more power. He could take one punch to drop Royval, and then you lose your live bet. So we'll see. Shady dislikes Kai Kara France. Well, what can I do, mate? That's your problem. Kai Kara France has to be valued outside of getting insta backpacked. I mean, yeah, like I said, we've seen him get backpacked by Bontarine, Askarov. Like, when these guys get gassed and Kai starts unloading his hands, it's like it's gonna look value. It's gonna look value. And look how close Steve Erceg was to beating Pantoja. Very close. Brendan Royval, not really close, but the guy has dog shit takedown defense. Like, literally no takedown defense. Shady, especially when he sticks his tongue out like a hello. Why does everyone hate when Maoris do their heritage thing? You know, I get that it's cringe, but it's literally it's who they are. It's their background, their nationality. Kai France really struggled with the pace of Royval. I think Pantoja going to replicate. Yeah, well, Kai France like dropped Royval multiple times, and then he like cardio dumped, and then Royval just kept coming because he's just a savage. Their Ultimate Fighter fight was very, very competitive. Yeah, I've not watched it since they originally fought. Yeah, Pantoja struggles with his own pace. He sure does. That's a good one. Good one. Made me laugh. Alrighty. Main event. Topuria, Charles Oliveira. I'm just going to keep this simple. I'm going to keep it simple. I had a big stack back when my units were $2,000. I had $4,000 on Arman Sarukian against Charles Oliveira. I thought that was a great bet. I don't care about all the losers, all the simps thinking that Charles Oliveira won that. Get out of here. Arman slipped, fell into a guillotine round one, ended up on top time, throwing ground and pound when he got out. Won round two, clear. Was winning round three, clear. Slipped, ended up in another DAS that wasn't locked in. And somehow they almost gave Charles Oliveira the fight, losing majority of the fight. So that's Arman with not really much finishing upside. He's been hurt before. Mate, Topuria, a lightweight, is like the same guy with power. Topuria, I think he's even better jiu-jitsu guy. He's not getting submitted. He knows how to defend the guillotine. He was a black belt like from 19 years of age. He's 26 now. Topuria has his own chokes, elite chokes. He's knocked out the two GOATs, Max Holloway, Volkanovski. Charles is not surviving this, man. It's, good stuff for Topuria. Double champ. Just keeping it simple. I mean, Charles going to like life and death with Michael Chandler in that last fight is not aging well. Not aging well at all. So, he's going to be the champ. Look at some unders. Look at some Topuria KO. That's it. Royval hit random back fist to mobble him. He actually hit a spinning elbow, and then he guillotined him. They both have good chins. All right, that's it. I have another bet that I need to look into. Anyone here into Fury FC? Anyone looking into the Fury main event? Let me know. Let me know now in the chat. And I'm going to check out my BKFC bet. Hopefully Copeland sparks Arlovsky. But let me know, and I'm going to go through the little thing. So, what do we got? I'm going to look at McVeigh. That one's sticking out. Look at McVeigh. Look at Hyder Emil. Jack Hermanson, Vivian Araujo, Felipe Lima, Chalk. Man, I'm going to look into these fights. These fights are sticking out to me. Kai France, really sticking out to me. And Topuria, I'm just going to wait for him to maybe a parlay Topuria. Maybe I anchor him with something and then play unders. Lucky Tim, fading Whitehead. That's all I needed to know, my friend. You're the second person I heard. I'm going to do some tape. All right, peace out.